During the recent debate over the government's decision to cut $250 million from the licence fees paid by commercial television networks, one of the justifications used by the Communication Minister, Stephen Conroy, was that IPTV is on the way. The idea of using the internet instead of the aerial to watch television might present great opportunities for us viewers, but it has serious implications for the bottom line of 7, 9 and 10. There's little doubt about that. But the question is, IPTV, is it any good, and where do I get it? And our tech editor, Peter Marks, is well placed to answer those kinds of questions. Peter, good morning.
Good morning, Fran.
What is IPTV, Pete?
It's where you watch generally streaming video, sometimes pre-downloaded video, over your internet connection directly into your TV. Now, we've been able to do that on computers, but it's not the same watching TV on your computer. This week, Sony has demonstrated for the first time TV sets from their Bravia range, which have this feature built in. So the TV sets have wireless or Ethernet connections in the back of them, and using the remote control, you'll be able to choose to watch TV programs directly downloaded. Now, other manufacturers have this coming as well, Samsung and Panasonic. There are some local channels. I mean, the content, of course, is everything. We're going to have local channels from Billabong, Yahoo 7, SBS, and of course there's lots of global brands that also have IPTV channels.
These local channels, say the Billabong channel, let's say for interest's sake, are they already up and running on? Can you get them on the net now?
Look, I haven't seen the Billabong channel, but there's a lot of channels available. I mean, apart from just using these new TVs that have the feature built in, there is also software that is available and some existing set-top boxes that will let you do it. Telstra has a thing called the T-Box, and of course the TiVo also, and Foxtel IQ has some of these features. So they're not only for recording and delaying programs, they can let you perhaps buy programs over the internet.
Can we do that now?
Yes, you can do that now. It hasn't been too popular. There's also some software called Boxy, which at the moment runs on Mac or Windows computers, so you can dedicate a computer as a set-top box. D-Link have announced they're going to be producing a low-cost set-top box running this software.
So what it means basically is you can be if you get one of these TVs or these set-top boxes, you'll be able to sit in your lounge room and you can just, if you want, just watch YouTube on your telly for a start.
Well, you can, but more the point, you can actually watch individual episodes of programs. So I quite like watching The Daily Show, Jon Stewart Daily Show. It's not available on free-to-air TV, so I can buy that program for $3 and watch it straight away on my TV at home. So it changes the way we look at TV. We tend to watch the news live, you might watch sport live, but for all of the other programs, why would you wait for them to be broadcast and wait through the ads as well?
And how do you dial it up? You don't have your keyboard sitting on a coffee table.
No, they have lovely interfaces on the computer, on the TV screen with big buttons and you use a remote control. Now, for this to work, we must have a reliable, fast internet connection.
I was just going to say you'd need fast broadband for this, wouldn't you?
That's right.
And how are we going on that front? I mean, the government is promising the National Broadband Network.
Well, there was an interesting change yesterday. There was some draft legislation was presented, which basically changed the nature of the NBN, the National Broadcast Network, from just being a wholesaler of broadband into also being a retailer. So they would actually compete head-to-head with retailers like the ISPs and Telstra, I think particularly with government, but this is a really strange change.
Why would the government want to do that?
Well, look, they're still in negotiations with Telstra, and my theory is that they're just trying to apply some pressure to that to get Telstra to lower their prices. Telstra took a share price hit, 4 cents over this, so it's certainly hurting them. But I think it raises a more broad question of what is the role of government in infrastructure. And, for my money, I think I want a government organisation to be in control of digging up the road and running cables. You remember that debacle we had years ago when cable was rolled out and we had 2 lots of cable going through every street. Well, I think government should get into that business and make sure we have one piece of fibre running to the curb. The retailers are probably better done by commercial organisations who are good at that sort of thing and can actually offer, good customer service.
And talking about the role of government in these kind of areas, we know that the federal government and the Communications Minister, Stephen Conroy, will press ahead with this notion of the internet filter. There's been all sorts of problems and lots of criticism of it. The idea is to forcibly block parts of the internet, sites on the internet. Last week, protesters took some government websites down in reaction to this.
Ironically, they had a denial of service attack which brought down briefly the Department of Broadband Communications and the Digital Economy. They also attacked the Parliament House website and a number of others. this was a distributed denial of service attack, so it was coming from many places. These are very difficult to combat. The group was called Anonymous. Now, you might remember the term Anonymous from another group, I don't suggest that it was the same people at all, who attacked the Church of Scientology a year or so ago. The attack was planned in advance and was publicised, so we knew it was coming. I think this is their second attempt. This one was called the Titstorm, which is a reference to one of the things which is to be blocked under the mandatory internet filter, which is small pictures of small-breasted people, I think. Their point is they're trying to say that this kind of focus on certain kinds of porn is ridiculous. Now, I don't think anyone feels that this bit of internet vandalism has really had any effect on changing the government's mind on the mandatory internet filter. There's a lot of dispute around the world. It's being commented on every day. The story saying, gee, Australia's still going ahead with this. Personally, I think if we're going to have our internet mandatorily filtered or censored, there should be some sort of plebiscite where the public actually votes for that. Maybe that would be a way to take this forward.
Yeah, there is no sign the minister's going to back down, though. Talking about sites being attacked, Facebook has been in the news for some horrible reasons lately. Individuals have been posting really offensive messages and pictures on sites that have been set up as memorials for a couple of young people who've been murdered or killed. Shouldn't Facebook be responsible for blocking this somehow or removing this, or can they do that?
Facebook has 400 million users. It's one of the biggest countries in the world. And I think it's impractical for any site, be it YouTube or Facebook or whatever, to filter, to read everything that gets posted up there. I mean, this is an amazing growth. They only started 6 years ago. Now, these two tribute pages, and they're tragedies, the children that are the focus of them. Unfortunately, there's some wacky users out there, and they did post things on these tribute pages. They weren't the pages of the kids themselves, so they weren't their friends directly.
No, they were these open tribute pages.
That's right. And so some people apparently put up, two things. They put up inappropriate material, links to porn and so on. And they also put up material that may jeopardise the progress of the case, of the court case. So that's obviously bad for everyone concerned. Now, I think this has been reported before, but I think what people need to do is if you see something inappropriate on any of these sites, and on Facebook it's a little bit hidden, if you see someone has posted something inappropriate, you click through to that person's page, and then down the bottom left there's a button that says report this person. And then it will draw your attention to the terms and conditions of Facebook. Immediately you report them, you will be blocked from seeing them. So you'll no longer see any content from that user. Secondly, Facebook's moderators will take a look at that user's posts, and they may block them as well.
So a red flag is raised.
A red flag is raised. So it is up to the public to actually report inappropriate content, and then the sites will act.
And Pete, just before we go, a quick consumer question referring back to our original story about IPTV. If we are going to have this in our lounge rooms and we're going to be downloading, we're going to reach our download quotas pretty quickly. Do you think the ISPs will be changing how they package that and offer that?
Yes, some of the ISPs are doing deals where they provide, it's a bit like the old walled garden we used to have, where there's certain content you can get from Telstra or some of the ISPs where it's unmetered content. So if you're buying a movie and downloading it from the ISP, you don't get metered from that. That's what we need, or we need our download limits to go way up to make this practical.
And we need them to be cheap.
Of course.
Peter Marks, thank you very much for joining us.
It's a pleasure, Fran.
Peter Marks is our technology editor, knows everything you need to know about the web, the net, and all those smartphones and smart technology coming at the rate of knots into our homes.